Welcome back to Unfiltered with Sam and Petey. So I've had a couple technical difficulties getting this thing off the ground this week. I apologize to our loyal listeners, the few that you are, and also to our folks in England. Petey is traveling today and just simply couldn't get to it until tomorrow, which would be Tuesday, which means I really wouldn't be able to kick it out until Wednesday. So here we are trying to stay ahead of that deadline. So Petey sends his love. We haven't actually talked about the game yet. That's why it's unfiltered. You get our unfiltered initial response. So I'm sure we'll catch up next week on what he thought of the Minnesota debacle. Nebraska Cornhuskers lost to the Minnesota Gophers 24-6. As a Raiders fan, this was a very difficult weekend for me because the Raiders lost in a similar fashion that the Huskers did. Thank God the Huskers had more than 3 downs and more than 30 plays, but it was aggravating. It's one of those things that if something does go wrong, or if something is to go wrong, it will go wrong, and it just went wrong on Friday night. My perspective on this is that, first of all, Nebraska fans, as usual, have their expectations way too high. Now, I think we all should expect to beat Minnesota the other night, but I think we have to come back to the fact that our original predictions, and that was, to me, we're an 8-win team, which means we are going to have to try and get 3 wins between now and the end of the season, which I think is doable. I really do. If we actually play this thing game by game, but we're not more than an 8-win team. We're just not. The very same concerns that I had at the beginning season showed up and came to roost on Friday night. We have no pass rush. They had a pass rush. They have an offensive line that can execute. We don't have an offensive line that can execute, particularly when we have 2 of our starters out. Pritchett got thrown out on a stupid play, and then Rocco, who I was tracking that first drive, and he was crushing people. And when that guy went out, the whole thing, this kid that they had, 75, Tyler Kanak, or this Utah kid, just got his butt kicked. And so, offensive line play was horrendous. It was just simply horrendous. And do we point at the assistant coach? Yes, we do. Donovan Raiola, just less than 8 or 10 years ago, the guy was coaching high school ball, and he's been in Nebraska for 4 years now. So can the guy learn how to develop players? He's clearly not developing offensive linemen. There's nothing in development. What do we do? I mean, are we supposed to? One of the things we could do is we could switch some positions. But I don't know if we can have anybody playing at center right now. But my thought is that Justin Evans, who's played guard in the past, could go to a guard. Rocco is supposed to be back, so but. Do we switch it up? Do we put a couple different guys at positions? We take our center to the guard, and we have a guard becomes a center. Or what? What do we do? I don't know. Ultimately, it comes down to Big Ten football, and Matt Rule hasn't gotten Big Ten football figured out. Dana Holgorsen hasn't got Big Ten football figured out. I would recommend that they go study the Iowa game, I know we don't want to play like Iowa. Well. Why don't you study Minnesota? What did they do? They play smart football. We're not freaking throwing the ball on second down. At least we did run on first down. Emmett Johnson had a great game. He had a great game. He had 4, but he's not getting the ball enough. But what was happening is we'd give Emmett the ball, and then we'd drop back for pass. We get sacked 9 times. I mentioned that 9 freaking times. I don't know who we think we are, but you can't beat anybody getting sacked 9 times. So why not? Well, so why in the hell wouldn't Holgorsen just run the ball? We were able to run the ball. I don't care if we lined it up and gave it off to Emmett Johnson every play. The result would have been better than us dropping back and getting sacked. And I don't understand what's going on in the line. I don't know. I mean, Rule today in his press conference said something about a back missed assignment, and implied that Dylan Raiola is not getting out of the pocket quick enough. Probably not. He's probably not, but he's a pocket passer. That's what we were freaking recruited. We recruited the kid. He's no freaking option quarterback. He's not going to run a naked bootleg like a TJ Lateef would be able to. So what are we doing? Ultimately, we're getting our ass kicked man on man, and that's what football is, man. You line up and you take the man ahead of you and you beat him, and they beat us every single freaking play, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Nebraskans take these games personally, and we are freaking embarrassed because that doesn't represent what we want to be portrayed as. A bunch of freaking idiots that are getting beat on the line every single play. The defense, I don't know what happened to them. Our secondary decided they didn't want to learn how to tackle. I don't understand it. There are many plays where the guy's running at an angle. They talk about angles. And if the guy's fast, yeah, you're going to whiff. But you have to at least have some fundamental concepts to tackling. This shoestring ankle grabbing shit doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And if a man's coming at you directly, you better take him down. You better take him down. And we're not taking anybody down. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. Rules gotta. I don't know. It's a mental mindset, and clearly, Nebraska Cornhuskers did not have a very good mental mindset the other day. And Rule today in his press conference mentioned that there's this feeling of entitlement that he's tired of. And I think he's nailed the nail on the head. And that is, we just, we expect these things to be easier. There's no freaking, like I said, we're an 8-win team. If all goes well and we play the way that I would expect my Rule to be able to freaking coach us, I think we'll have 8 wins this season. But they're entitled. They think, well, we could just take this game off. Or I don't know. You can have all the energy and all the rah, but if you have this mentality of we're entitled, that we can take a play off or we can take a game off, you're sorely mistaken in the Big Ten. Big Ten is all about grit and outmanning your man more than he outmans you, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Okay, there was some talk about the white jerseys. We can't ever wear the white jerseys anymore. I don't care if we're buck frickin' naked. Play the game. Play the game. I don't care what we're wearing. Play the game. What does white jerseys have anything to do with it? I don't care if we have pink face masks or any of that crap. It didn't matter. It's a mindset. So until we fix that mindset, we'll lose. We've now lost 6 in a row to Minnesota. We'll lose 7 in a row. It was a forgettable performance. And the problem is, are we going to let this forgettable performance snowball into a forgettable season? Are we? I mean, can you name the starting 11 on Mike Riley's teams? No, because it was a forgettable season. We don't have anybody can play. We ain't got nobody can play. And what I mean by that is, and that was something my high school football coach used to say a lot, is that you have to have an edge to play. It's more than just physical ability. It's the mental edge that you are going to dominate your man in front of you, that you're going to take him out. We don't have that. So that's what I mean when I say we ain't got nobody can play. So don't let this forgettable performance turn into a Mike Riley type season or a Scott Frost type season where it becomes a forgettable season. I think that is it for this week. It was just a profound embarrassment and profound disappointment and profound ass kicking. And Matt Rule was flat pissed today, and I'm good. And Matt Rule, I don't care if you like give up your podcast. Let me do the podcasting. What the hell are you doing a podcast? I know. We're trying to be cool. Let these recruits know what we're feeling. We're transparent. Well, then you're gonna have to do your podcast this week, pal. Is better be pretty transparent, and you're gonna have to start pointing some fingers. Or point the thumb, as Bo used to say. Point the thumb at yourself. But you don't need to be doing a podcast. You don't need to be flying off to freaking Las Vegas in the middle of a bye, or it wasn't even a bye week. It was before the Michigan game. Like, what is that? I need you focused on this team, Matt Rule, and that means 24/7. Are we not paying you enough? Are we not paying you enough, Matt Rule? There are guys out there busting their ass making $35,000 in this state, and you're making $8.5 million a year. Come on now, let's go. So, my prediction for this week, Petey sent his in. Now, Petey's optimistic. Now, I don't know if he's being sarcastic or not. It was a text. But he thinks we're going to come back big. He thinks we're going to beat Northwestern 34-17. I'm not at all convinced that that's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to say the Huskers are going to win for two reasons. One, because that's what I predicted at the beginning of the season. But number two is that we're at home, and the home field has got to have to give us a little bit of advantage. But man, we can't have pick sixes, and we can't get sacked 9 times. We can't have third down frickin' penalties, which just drive me bonkers. The Raiders did it yesterday too. It's like you put yourself in position in the red zone, and we have a third down penalty. Like, what? That is total between the ears stuff, and the Huskers have got to get some of that. So I think that I'm going to say the Huskers we're going to win. We'll just call it. I don't think we're even going to have 3 touchdowns this week. I don't think we are. Our defense is going to have to cramp down. So I'm going to say Nebraska 14, Northwestern 10, and we'll just see what happens. Thanks for bearing with me, England. Thanks for bearing with me, my half a dozen loyal listeners in Nebraska. You know who you are. They're Bud and Josiah and Barney and Troy and Greg and who else is a loyal listener? I think that's about it. Everybody else is there, and we have about 10 or 15 times more people are listening in England. So, cheerio.